friends, welcome to Lovin' Life's Journey DIY. I'm Chantel. Thank you so much for being here. I know I have been MIA for the entire month of December, and so I wanted to make this video to share with you what I've been up to. So on December 1st, I hopped on a plane and headed to Columbus, Ohio to meet up with my oldest daughter, Sarah, because she and I had been planning the trip of a lifetime. We actually were able to go to Europe and spend a couple of weeks on a Christmas market tour. This was just such an amazing trip, and I am so blessed and thankful that we had this opportunity to do this trip together. Then on the day that I came home, Sarah actually flew to Idaho with me, and then the rest of our family from Columbus joined us here in Idaho, and we had a house full of people through Christmas. And even my craft room was made up into a guest room. It's probably the cleanest my craft room has been in a really long time. But it was just so nice to have family here and spend time with them over Christmas. And so there was no crafting happening, and it was nice to just have this little break. But I did think that you might enjoy seeing our Europe trip and see the places that we visited and the things that we did, and most of all, be able to see all of the different Christmas markets that we went to. So that's what this video is all about. And I would love it if you would leave a comment for me if you have been to a European Christmas market. Let me know where it was, and that would be really fun to hear about. So here is our experience for our Christmas market tour. I hope you enjoy it.
Sarah and I left Columbus, Ohio at 3 p.m. on December 3rd for what was supposed to be about 18 hours of travel. However, halfway across the Atlantic Ocean, they turned our plane around and sent us back to the U.S. due to a snowstorm in Germany. So our 18-hour travel day turned into 52 hours, but we did finally make it to our first destination, which was Dubrovnik, Croatia. Within just a few minutes of arriving in Dubrovnik, we realized that those 52 hours of travel were all worth it. We literally were staying inside the fortress walls in the old town. So we had to walk over a drawbridge, over a moat, through this gate, and in the old streets of Dubrovnik. And it was just amazing. I literally had to stop and just take it all in because it's just so surreal. Our Airbnb was called Two Steps, and it was just the cutest little like studio apartment. It was perfect for Sarah and I, and it just had so much charm. We loved staying here. And the location was perfect because it was close to walk to all kinds of sites and restaurants and shops, and just very easy to get to everything we needed to get to. The next morning, Sarah and I had signed up to do a group tour, and we ended up being the only two people on the tour because this is the off season and not very many tourists were in Dubrovnik at this time. So we got a private tour of the old town Dubrovnik and learned all about some of the places where Game of Thrones was filmed, and just learned a lot of history. And it was just very interesting, and what an incredibly beautiful place. This is the port in Dubrovnik, and these buildings were actually quarantine buildings where people arriving by ship in the 14th century would have to quarantine for 40 days before being allowed to enter the city. And we thought COVID was bad. Later in the day, we went down to Stratton, which is the main street in Old Town Dubrovnik, and they have lots of shops and restaurants, and they had some food Christmas market stalls. And this just happened to be on December 6th, which is Dubrovnik Defenders Day, and they were having a local celebration or commemoration of the people who defended Dubrovnik when it was attacked during the breakup of Yugoslavia in 1991. And so we got to get some food and just sit and enjoy a concert that they were having in honor of this day. And it was so neat just to be a part of their local celebration.
More svit izgori, samo više nebo, samo ne govori.
The next day, we flew to Zagreb, Croatia, where we met up with our tour group for our Christmas market tour. We went to dinner with everyone that night, and then the following morning, we took a walking tour around Zagreb, which included riding the funicular up to Old Town Zagreb, where we got to have a great view of the city.
This is a good day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has so clear a light as any.
In 2020, Croatia had an earthquake that damaged a lot of the buildings, and so many of the buildings that we saw had scaffolding on them, like the towers on this church. In the afternoon, we drove out to the village of Kummervek. This is where Tito, or Marshal Tito, was born in this house here. He was the president of the former Yugoslavia. And so this is just a village that you can visit, and many of the buildings are restored to where you can go in and see what they look like and just walk around this quaint little village. After visiting the village, we went to Gorica, where we had to walk up this hill to this farm-to-table restaurant where they put out a huge spread of food. There were animals roaming around the windows outside, and it was just a really great traditional Croatian meal. And at one point during dinner, the fog cleared enough that we were able to see Veliki Tabor Castle on the hill. And then after finishing our dinner, we headed back into Zagreb to check out the Christmas markets. This was a little bit different than what we were expecting. It was less traditional and a little bit more geared to younger people. I guess Zagreb is more of a college or university town, and so it just had more of a party vibe. We did get some good hot chocolate and a yummy dessert that I can't remember the name of, but overall, this market was definitely all about the food, the lights, and the music. The next day, we left Croatia and we headed to Slovenia to visit the Poonia Caves. And in case you were wondering how we were traveling, this was our comfy ride for the 8-day tour. These little creatures live in the waters in the cave. They are called Proteus anguinus, but most people just refer to them as baby dragons. From the caves, we headed to Ljubljana, Slovenia, which is the capital, and we spent the next 2 nights here. That evening, we went into the downtown area where we had dinner at a great, authentic Slovenian restaurant. The food was great, but better than that was this fun accordion band. After dinner, we were able to see some of the lights in Ljubljana, which they were a little bit different. They had kind of a space theme, so it was kind of interesting, but still fun to see how they decorated their downtown in comparison to some of the other ones that we had seen. The next morning, a very knowledgeable local expert took us on a walking tour of Ljubljana, and we learned again so much history about the city and about the country of Slovenia. After our tour, we got some hot drinks at the Christmas markets. I got hot chocolate, and it's literally melted chocolate mixed with milk. Oh man, it was good. The Christmas markets are a little bit different here in Ljubljana. It was a little bit more almost flea market-like, but still very interesting to look through. During our tour, our guide told us that since Slovenia is so close to Italy, they have a lot of pizza, and this is one of the best pizza places that he recommended, so Sarah and I decided to head here for lunch. And he was right. It was really good. And when we were done with lunch, we came out to this beautiful view of the Ljubljana Castle. In the afternoon, we went on my favorite excursion of the whole tour out to Lake Bled, Slovenia. And this is a lake, a pretty small lake, but it has the only island in Slovenia. And we went out to the island in these traditional pletna boats. This is the island. It's small. It has this beautiful church on it. And we got to be rowed out to the island in these boats. It was so peaceful being rowed across the water because there are no motors allowed on this lake, and these traditional boats were just beautiful. There are 99 steps leading up to the church. There is also a path that you can take so you don't have to climb the steps. The bell in the church tower is from 1534. It is referred to as the wishing bell, and it has an interesting story behind that, so I would encourage you to look that up. But we were able to go in and ring the bell.
Oh, there it goes.
The bell was hard to hear from the inside of the church, but it was very loud when you were outside. Other than the church, the only other things on the island are a gift shop and visitor center, as well as a small cafe. And this is the only place in the world that you can get gelato with cream cake in it, so we had to try that out as well. And we found that the most popular music in Slovenia is polka music. The following day, we headed to Gratz, Austria. We were actually on our way to Bratislava, Slovakia, but we did make a stop in Gratz and got to spend several hours just exploring this city and looking at the sights and seeing the Christmas markets here. We arrived in Bratislava, Slovakia late in the afternoon, and we all decided to head out to the Christmas markets. And I have to say that this was probably one of my favorite cities that we visited, and my favorite Christmas markets as well. There was a really good variety of food and drinks, as well as a lot of other items to purchase.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, And I want it all, from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true.
This bao bun filled with traditional Slovakian ingredients was probably the best thing we ate in Bratislava. We also tried this traditional cinnamon and sugar pastry called a terdelnik. The next morning we had the option of taking a walking tour that was more history focused, or one that was both history and food of the Christmas markets, and we chose that one. We thought it was the best of both worlds. On the afternoon of December 12th, we left Bratislava and headed to Vienna, Austria. This is our last stop on our tour. We spent 2 nights in Vienna, and the first night we went to the largest Christmas market, which was amazing. And I just can't believe I took this picture myself because it looks like a postcard. But we loved this Christmas market. There was so much to look at, and a much more like the traditional Christmas markets that you think of when you think of the European Christmas markets. When we left the Christmas market, we went to the car salon. This is the concert hall where Johann Strauss and Mozart both have performed, and we got to hear a concert. I was not able to video the concert, but I did sneak a few pictures. On December 13th, the last full day of our tour, we had an early morning tour of the Imperial Palace, the Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna. This is like a 1,441 room summer residence of the Habsburg family, and we toured about 40 rooms of this. We were not able to take video inside the palace, so I don't have any of that to show you, but we did get to go to the Christmas market that was set up outside the palace, and this was a really fun market as well. They had a lot of handmade items, a lot of, you could tell, local artisans, and it was just a really nice Christmas market. One thing that Austria has in common with Idaho, where I live, is potatoes. They grow a lot of potatoes, so you could find lots of different potato dishes to eat at the Christmas markets. And, of course, all kinds of pretzels as well. After we finished up at the Schönbrunn Palace, we took a walking tour of Vienna and saw a lot of amazing architecture and learned a lot of history as well. There were 6 Christmas markets in Vienna, and we visited 4 of them. This was the 4th one, the Art Advent Market. This one focused on local artisans and vendors and had quite a bit more variety of things. I also found items to be a little bit more expensive, but I think that they were well worth it because they were more of the handmade items. Unfortunately, I didn't get very many photos or videos at this market. I was just too busy looking at everything. It was early afternoon and Sarah and I were feeling pretty wiped out, so we decided to walk back to our hotel. We walked through this park and saw several statues, including this one of Johann Strauss. Then we just rested until we went with the group to this monastery that is 900 years old. It was built in the year 1114, and we went to a restaurant near this abbey and had our farewell dinner with our tour group. Then we said goodbye to our group and our wonderful tour guide Ree and bus driver Mario, and we had to catch a really early flight. We had to leave at 3 a.m. for the Vienna airport.
I hope you enjoyed seeing our trip to Europe, and I just want to say that this video is not sponsored in any way by Insight Vacations, but I would highly recommend them. It was such an amazing experience. They took care of all of the details, and this was our first time traveling overseas, and so it took away a lot of the stress and anxiety of traveling that way, and I just would highly recommend it. So I will leave a link to their website below in case you want to check them out. But like I said, this video is not sponsored by them, but I do highly recommend them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure you're subscribed, and we're going to do a lot of new DIYs coming up in 2024. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and a blessed new year.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give today. Is a good